think that's important. That's why I want to do it, because when I was a kid and I was feeling all these things, I didn't really have any way of like coping with it because I didn't know what to do. But now I've been through these things, so maybe someone who haven't can use this.
I see broken mirror shattered, unfamiliar. How come my reflection looks more like a stranger?
Hey, you're listening to Radio Heatwave, the hottest thing on campus. I'm really excited today because we have a very special guest here with us, and he is none other than Maximilian. Hi! So a little bit about Maximilian. The Copenhagen-based rising pop star has been releasing music since the age of 17. But with the release of last year's guitar-driven pop hymn, Beautiful Scars, he has now clocked up more than 250 million streams across platforms, making it a #1 hit in the Philippines and a triple platinum certification. Now, Maximilian is back with Letters, which is a sincere and stunning ballad that celebrates friendship. Hi Max, congratulations on your latest single.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Hi, we're so happy to have you here today.
I'm happy to be here.
About your latest single, you shared that it is very personal and meaningful to you as it represents the importance of telling your loved ones that you care about them before it's too late. So how would you describe your songwriting process for this piece?
I wrote the song for my best friend. He's not around, so we write each other letters to like keep in touch. And I just wanted to. I thought about not having him, like being able to hang out with him. And I started really noticing how much I missed him. And I thought about, I want to write a song that really portrays how much I'm so glad that he's my friend, that I really appreciate him. And I love being his best friend. It's an appreciation song where I also wanted to like put a spotlight on how important it is to tell the people around us that we love them and appreciate them, because at some point they might not be around anymore.
Yeah, definitely. So in Letters, there's a line that goes, "Even in our darkest hours, I know that we'll be all right." So for you, you've been through like rock bottom and you've managed to rise up to the challenge. So what gives you faith that things will be okay, especially in your darkest hours?
I mean, like the sun's gonna rise tomorrow. So like, I think even at our darkest hours, I know that we'll be all right. You can also twist that into, when you're in a relationship, and if it doesn't work out, you end up breaking up, you feel really, really bad, and you feel like everything just, nothing will ever be the same. But in the end, it's gonna be all right. You're gonna get over it, and you're gonna rise up again. You just have to really stay true to yourself and know what you want to do in life, and just try to get back on the horse. Basically, it's the darkest hours can be so many different things for so many different people, that I think it's important to like really think about it in a way that nothing so bad is not going to be good again. There's not any good in it,
Yeah. And I think it really translates into the song because, at least for me, it feels like there's the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you started music back in 2017 and it's been almost 4 years since then. So if you could actually write a letter to your past self, what would you say?
I would tell myself not to worry that much and not to stress that much, and just really focus on what feels good and what doesn't feel good. I think for all new aspiring artists, just don't do what you want to do. Don't do what anyone else wants you to do. Because you gotta be able to see yourself in what you're creating and what you're doing and who you're working with. Because if you just start working with everyone, and it's gonna drain you. It drained me and I stopped doing it, and now I'm working with people I know and I trust, and that's works for me.
I see. So as a young artist, do you see your age as more of an advantage or a disadvantage?
I think I see it as a advantage, actually, because I'm experiencing all these things firsthand. So I get to write about it with the first thought of it. But it's also a disadvantage because, I would want to know how I'm feeling in 10 years, so I could write about that. But I'm just gonna take it as it comes.
Okay, so how would you describe your style and music direction?
Pop music, but it's like pop with a twist of soul and you know I don't like being in one camp of pop music. I like all the different ways. You can't always do that, but you know there's not any rules, so I'm just gonna do what feels good.
Yeah, just experiment until you find something that really like fits your personality and your style. So what has been the most unexpected response that you have received since Letters was released?
Well, it's been actually that people. It's not been like for me the songs to my friend, but other people are also like talking about their deceased ones, and that's really important because that's what I was talking about before. Like the feeling you get when it's too late to tell someone that you appreciate them, but. I wish that I could send my grandfather. He passed away a few years ago. I wish I could send him a letter that I knew that he would receive, but it's too late. But the fact that people are using it as I saw people like writing something like a letter basically on a comment on YouTube that was for someone who had passed away, and that's actually I think that's important because still you get to say the words and tell how you're feeling about it. And I think it's important. That's like a self-therapy I think everyone needs in that time. Yeah.
I see. That's interesting, the YouTube comment. I'll go check it out. So you have been received a lot of love for Beautiful Scars, which was released last year. And since then, it has racked up over 250 million streams across platforms. So were there some kind of pressure leading up to your upcoming album, and how are you handling it?
Oh yeah, well, the fact that song blew up that much, of course, it makes me a little anxious about this album. But I'm still just, I'm just happy that people are connecting with the music. If any of these 11 songs on this album resonates in anyone, just one person, I feel like I've succeeded. I want to write music for people who needs it in a way. Kind of my way of writing is always taking something personal and making it, so that if you go through something, if you can, what did you say, recognize yourself in this song, you might be able to use it for a way of coping with something. Like Beautiful Scars, for example, a lot of people use that song to like embrace some flaws that they were insecure about. Important.
Yeah, and even as a listener, I listen to it every single day, and I think it feels very raw, like straight from the heart.
Thank you.
No, thank you for writing this song. Finally, for the fans who can't wait for your upcoming and long-awaited debut album, Too Young, what can they expect?
You can expect this album to be different from the other things I've done. Not all different, but there's gonna be a few songs that I've tried some things out. But you should, if you're emotional, there's a few heartbreakers in there. But yeah, it's special. I'm really proud of it.
We'll be looking forward to it. And with that, we've come to the end of the interview. Thank you so much, Maximilian, for being so lovely. And for our listeners, do look out for his upcoming album, Too Young. This has been Charlene with you on Radio Heatwave, the hottest thing on campus.
Peace. Bye.